Hey guys, it's me, Demetria from Cutting Up Keto, where we slice and dice and serve up everything nice with no sugar and lots of spice. I have for you something that you guys have really been requesting after I mentioned it in my last video where I made the Italian sub salad. Is my taco salad. That is one of my favorite keto foods. I ate taco salad literally about once a week. It's one of the easiest things to do and one of the easiest things to customize. You can have on there so many different things. Whatever you like, you put it on there as long as it's keto. But I was gonna say too that the thing that makes it so fun to eat on keto is that you can have the full fat sour cream, avocados, you can have guacamole on there. I mean, it's just so many different things you can have that they typically tell you if you're on a diet, have low fat sour cream, have no avocado. Avocados are too high in fat. But we all know that on keto, one of the main nutrients that you need is potassium, and avocados are loaded in potassium. So you have what I consider a nutritional powerhouse. I don't put any beans on there. We all know that we've done our keto research and beans are not keto. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this, but I wanted to say too, I'm also gonna show you guys how you can make your own taco seasoning at home. You don't have to go out and get that poisonous crap that they sell in the store that they call a taco seasoning, where it's just nothing but a bunch of chemicals brought together to mimic a good taco seasoning. It's really easy to have, and you can also make extras, double it or put it in some little Ziploc bags or in a mason jar to keep on hand, so that way when you get ready to have a taco salad, you've taken out of the process, the tedious part of measuring out all the ingredients to make the taco salad. So if you don't like certain ingredients that I throw in there, put whatever you want to put on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with that right now. Okay, so here are my ingredients that I have for this absolutely delicious taco salad. Right here I have 2 pounds of ground beef. I got the 80% lean, 20% fat. Remember, on keto, you do not want to get lean cuts of meat. You want to get the one that has the most fat content. I'm going to drain just a little bit of fat off, but I'm going to leave some of that fat for flavor. Now, for this recipe, I'm going to put the actual recipe in the description box, but I'm doubling the recipe because, like I said before, we have a pretty large family size, and this is typically what we have to have. We either have to have either 2 pounds or 3 pounds, especially if we want to have leftovers. I also have here some Lea & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. I actually love to add that anytime I'm using ground beef or any type of ground product. I use Lea & Perrins. And I was also going to say, I typically have grass-fed beef when I do the ground beef, but this time I couldn't find any in the store, so I just grabbed whatever I could find. But typically I do use grass-fed ground beef, and I recommend for keto using grass-fed ground beef. It is not a necessity, but it's good to have because, like I said, that omega-3 content in the grass-fed beef is right on par with omega-3 content in salmon. This is just grain-fed beef, so I try not to use that hardly at all when I was doing full keto. But right here I have some jalapenos. Again, these ingredients that I'm showing are fully customizable to your own liking. You don't have to use what I use. The whole purpose of my cooking show is really just to give you guys just general ideas of what I use, but this is just the stuff that I like, so naturally I'm going to show you what I like. But if you don't like stuff, you guys know, just leave it off. I have here some diced green chilies that are fire roasted. I got those also at Trader Joe's. I'm not going to use too many of those, but use a couple tablespoons to the ground beef to give it a little bit more flavor. And then I have here a chopped Roma tomato. And here I have some diced up romaine lettuce that I chopped up to put in there for the base of the salad. I have some avocado. I usually use on my keto about a quarter of an avocado, depending on what I'm doing, but typically that's what I chose to stick to. I also have here again some iceberg shreds. You don't have to use these if you don't like them. I just like to use them. I don't even know why. I guess I just like the different colors with the lettuce, but that's not something that I even always use when I'm making taco salad. I typically just stick to the romaine because it's got that higher the higher vitamin content, the higher I think it's folate and all the rest of that. Iceberg lettuce is typically just not really vitamin loaded like some of the other darker leafy greens. I don't even think you can consider iceberg lettuce a leafy green per se, but like I said, I use it just because I like to have that extra crunch. I have some sour cream here. Again, I watched this, made sure that it wasn't the extra cheap kind that has, you know, all types of fillers in it. And I have some sharp cheddar cheese, some black olives, and some green onions. And I also have here some almond flour. Now, I'm debating about using almond flour because I normally use the all-purpose flour, but I need to have something for it to stick to. And I was gonna try and use xanthan gum, which is a lot of times a thickener that people on keto and gluten-free diets substitute out for all-purpose flour. But the measurements I was looking at, it was just, I don't know, I couldn't add it up. It was like 1 cup of all-purpose flour, you use only 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. So I'm thinking, okay, well, how much is that? I just wasn't trying to do all that math tonight, to be honest. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna use almond flour. Again, if you are sensitive to nuts and things, just leave it out. Again, it's just to make the seasoning stick to it. And lastly, I'm gonna show you guys this stuff. Now, if you are ever in a situation where you need to grab a pre-mixed taco seasoning, this Burritos taco seasoning brand is so good. I got this at Whole Foods. That's where I found it. And I also found it at the local Earth Fair that we have here. And you see here the ingredients, just rice flour, sea salt, spices, cane syrup, that stuff. I mean, of course, not all that is not keto, but like I said, this stuff did not throw me out of ketosis. Again, I use this only when I was in a pinch, and this is a good substitute versus some of the conventional brands that they sell that have a lot of chemicals in it. So this is pretty much it, y'all. Oh yeah, and I also have some organic salsa to put on there too. So this is it. I'm gonna go ahead and get started by first browning my ground beef, and then from there, this is really easy. You just throw on the toppings. Okay, I had almost forgot to mention to you the ingredients for the homemade taco seasoning. So like I said, I don't use that packet of stuff. The packet of taco seasoning, but I use this instead. So right here, we're gonna add this. I'm gonna put the recipe for this taco seasoning in the description box. So I'm just gonna go over it real quick. For this, you're gonna use a tablespoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, another 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, another 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So that's it. That's all you need to make a really good taco seasoning. Now, what I just gave you was the recipe for 1 pound of meat. So since I have 2, I'm gonna go ahead and double it. But again, in the description box, I'm just gonna put you the recipe for 1 pound of ground beef. Okay, so here I have my ground beef, and to that I added 1 tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce. And then I'm gonna also add about 1 heaping tablespoon of these diced green chilies here to this meat. And I'm gonna let that all cook together. And then we're gonna come back in a little bit after it's all good and brown, and then we're gonna add the taco seasoning to that. So I'll see you guys in a minute when it's done. Okay, so now that the meat is nice and brown, I'm gonna go ahead and add my homemade taco seasoning. But you know what I said before, how I said I was gonna drain some of the some of the fat off? I actually decided to leave this in because it's actually not that much fat. And I thought, I said, you know, you mainly drain the fat with taco seasoning and add flour to make it stick, but this fat that's in here is gonna be carb free and help it stick. So I'm not even gonna add the almond flour. I'm just gonna add the taco seasoning and hope that the fat will help it stick good enough anyways. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, because like I said, on keto we have to make, you know, be willing to make a lot of changes and concessions that, you know, we don't do with, you know, cooking the standard way. So it actually is mixing it pretty good, and it looks as though it's sticking pretty good too. So again, like I said, you don't, with that 80-20 ground beef, you don't even have to really drain that off if you're gonna be adding the taco seasoning to it. I'm gonna actually turn this off and remove it from the heat because, you know, you really don't need to continue cooking, I guess, any longer. Just have to mix it up in there and let those flavors mix together, and that's it. Let it cool off a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and assemble the salad. But yeah, like I said, you don't even really need to drain it. Use that fat as the binding agent to help the seasoning stick to the meat versus either an almond flour or a regular all-purpose flour. Isn't that crazy how they basically tell you drain off the fat and add flour to the meat to help the seasoning stick? Think about that. That sounds crazy. Just add sugar and starches to the meat. Insanity, I tell you. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna let that cool off a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and assemble the salad, because it's at this point it comes together really easily. So that's it, y'all. I'll be back in a minute after. I'm gonna let this cool for about 5 minutes, and then go ahead and start from there. Okay, so now that meat is good and cooled off, I'm gonna add some to it. Now for keto, I weighed out my meat and I never went over 4 ounces of ground beef, okay? But again, for tonight, I'm not even gonna bother pulling out the food scale. I'm just gonna eyeball what I remember as about 4 ounces of meat. And I'm gonna add a handful of the romaine. There we go. And just a few of these iceberg shreds. Not very much, but just a few. And I'm gonna add some tomatoes. I used to weigh these out too to make sure I didn't have too many, but I kind of can eyeball it now. Like I said, you have to do what works for you. Plug it into MyFitnessPal to figure out what's gonna work best for you and your macros. Like I said, I'm not watching as closely just because of my situation, being pregnant and all. But I'm gonna go ahead and add some black olives to that. And then add some green onions. These are actually really low carb. They're much better alternative than the actual regular onion I found. Especially when you only use a few of them. But I do like jalapenos on mine. I'm gonna add a couple of those. And then I'm gonna add some cheese. Now on keto, I also weighed out my cheese. I never went over 28 grams because you can easily go over your macros with things like cheese. You don't want to get too much fat. You get too much fat through your diet on keto, you're gonna be burning that instead of burning your body fat. So that's why I always weighed out my meats and cheeses. And I'm gonna add to this 1/4 of an avocado. This right here was actually not all the way ripe, so it's gonna be a little tough to get out, and it's not gonna be exactly 1/4, but I'm gonna try. And avocado, now, a lot of people don't like avocado, and I'm gonna be honest, I was one of those people that really don't care for it. But I noticed that you really have to season the hell out of it to make it easier to get down. Especially when I had it alongside some scrambled eggs, I always seasoned it with garlic powder, salt, pepper, and onion powder, and almost made like a little impromptu guacamole. And here I'm gonna put on some salsa. I have about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna eyeball it. That's the serving size, 2 tablespoons. You can actually go a little bit over with this because it's very, very low carb and very low sugar. There's no sugar in this hardly at all. And I recommend using salsa over taco sauce. It's a lot healthier. And then with the sour cream, you can use 2 tablespoons of this. Okay, now I sometimes will put 3 just because I like sour cream. And this is a pretty big taco salad. But this was one of my 1 meal a day salads where I ate only this. I would be so full. I didn't need anything else. Like I said, I'd have some fruit or something to go with it, and have a nice sparkling water to go with this, and that would be it. So making sure I get all the way down to the bottom and get that meat that's down there on the bottom. And that is it. But I'm so glad that I figured out that you don't have to add flour to the taco seasoning. Just leave the fat on there. And it'll be perfectly fine and perfectly keto, which is what we want. We keep it gluten-free. We don't want any swollen big bellies from all that bloat that you get from those grains. All right, there you have it. Look at that. Doesn't that look really good? This is really, really filling. Like, I probably won't even be able to eat all of this. This is gonna have me stuffed to capacity. So that's it, guys. That's it. So here you have my homemade taco salad that I ate all the time on keto. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it and see. That meat turned out amazing. Delicious. Really good. You're gonna really like this. So, I'm gonna be some cream stuck in my teeth. I hope it's not in the front. But anyhow, that's it, guys. So if you like what you saw in this video, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know any substitutions you like to put in your taco salad. Give me some new ideas, because like I said, taco salad, it's like a blank canvas. You can put so many different things on there and have an amazing taco salad and have something different each time depending on what you put on there. But the basics are the same. Weigh out your meats, weigh out your cheeses. That's the key to sticking to the macros with keto, especially with the things like that where it's easy to go overboard. So I hope you guys like this, and I love it when you guys try the recipes and let me know how it turned out for you. So please, guys, hit me up and let me know what you think. And on that note, don't forget to hit the like button and let me know in the comment section what you thought of this. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also don't forget to hit the bell if you are a new subscriber, so that you're always notified of the new episodes that I upload of the Cutting Up Keto Cooking Show. So on that note, I'm gonna finish this salad and enjoy it. Get me a sparkling water out the refrigerator, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.